This is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of Mate by Kate Grenville. Kate Grenville is an Australian writer and has published 15 books including fiction, non-fiction, biography and also books about the writing process. In 2001, she won the Orange Prize for the Idea of Perfection, and in 2006, she won the Commonwealth Writers' Prize for her The Secret River. The Secret River was also shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize. The themes of Mate are belonging and alienation, the futility of forced assimilation, and the search for identity within Australian culture. The characters are Will Bashford, the protagonist and also the narrator of the story, Norm, Will's neighbor, Lance, a shopkeeper at the stock and station shop, and the locals and the townspeople. Mate means companion. Will Bashford, who is the protagonist, tries to be friendly with everyone in the town. This town is a new place to him, but all his efforts become a waste because even though he tries to change his attire which suits a new atmosphere, he is not able to change his character and adjust with the new people. He is actually longing to be a mate with everyone, but everywhere his innocence and virtues are tested and threatened. The story begins with the line, he had bought the akbra and the elastic-sided boots, but everyone could see he was a city bugger. Akbra is a wide-brimmed hat used by the farmers in the bush of Australia. The elastic-sided boots are heavy-duty work boots used in places like construction sites or in this case the field. Bulawa was a typical town, one single broad street and all the commercial establishments on one side of the street. Will Bashford had come to Bulawa and had brought Phipps farmer. His neighbor was Norm Sharp. Will knows that Norm would also call him a no-hoper. No-hoper was used to refer to people who may not be successful. And Norm had such a firm grip that Will always winced whenever he shook hands with him. And every day the sky seemed with huge rolling grey clouds that Will think it is going to rain. He made the mistake of saying this to Norm the very first day they met. Norm repeated to his men in the pickup truck and they all repeated it among themselves and they all started to stare at him. Will could not figure out what he had said to evoke such a response. In this place, if you talk much, then you were considered standoffish. And if you talked too much, then they reacted as if had said something to amuse them. In reality, when Will Bashford moved into the countryside, he did not seem to know enough. Actually, he had learnt all the poems and childhood rhymes of Click Go the Shears and Once a Jolly Swagman. But it fell short of the real experience. Learning about the blue-bellied Joe and the coolibah tree did not quite prepare for him the actual living in the country. Click Go the Shears refers to the main occupation of Australia, that is, rearing sheep for wool. The sheep were sheared with shears which went click and click. And the blue-bellied Joe refers to an ewe which had less hair under the belly and hence was easier to shear. And the coolibah tree referred to the eucalyptus tree which is a common and native tree to Australia. One day he goes for a walk and as he watched he saw an old woman in a pink nightie rounding up cows into a side paddock. However, Will was so surprised by this whole thing that he looked without blinking. This old woman did not notice him and went to the back of the house. He was left staring at the cows chewing the cud. Then he continued on his walk and on his way back while passing by the house he took care to keep his eyes down because he noticed that there were two policemen in the premises. The old woman was now wearing a pink cardigan and she was talking to the policeman. The policemen were examining the ground and were making some measurements on the ground. He heard the old woman telling the policeman that if she really wanted to steal anyone's cattle, she would not do it in her nightie. Those words upset him and he put his head down, examining the dust and the bushes without getting his eyes up, and he tried to get away. He walked across to get a raincoat from the shop. The man said that he had sold the last one and that he did not have any more raincoats. Will was then told that in that place there has been no rain for years, and this made Will feel foolish. And he did not know how to respond and just tried to leave the shop without causing any embarrassment. So he just lamely said that he would like to be prepared for anything. And when he was turning to leave and go, Lance, the customer with red checked shirt, said something that startled Will out of his skin. Lance said, "Pumps pressing charges, and Will had no clue what Lance was talking about. Then the shopkeeper explained that if he saw anything during this walk, he should speak up. Will is now totally confused. Then, between the two of them, they explained that they thought Will should go to the police and give a statement so that Mrs. Quincy, that is the old lady, would not go to jail. But Will just walked away. Here, Will, though brought up in the city, is not any less Australian than the people of Boulevard. Yet, he is made to feel like an outsider. All his genuine love for the country life and his theoretical knowledge about this way of life does not prepare him for the real thing. In the eyes of the villagers of Buluva, Will was not an Australian enough, for he did not understand the rules of the Australian outback mateship and is forever the outsider. And if you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.